From the Dignity Health Studio at the Bakersfield, California, this is the Renegade Report with Greg Kerr. Now, here's Greg Kerr.
And welcome to the Renegade Report. I'm Greg Kerr. Happy to have you with us as we talk all things BC athletics. Once again, our thanks to Louis Amestoy and also Chris McCullough, who's going to be pushing the buttons, giving us our video today. And Francis Mayer, who sat in last week in this chair, greatly appreciated as I was out of state with some family matters. So thank you, Francis, for that. I know he interviewed Bob Hodel in the first hour, so I'm sure he got some good food from Hodel's as well. Francis is smart that way. We got a helmet. We got a mug up here you're going to see later in the show on the table that I guess they had last week. Finally got some decoration out here, so that is some good stuff. Now, later in the show, as usual, we will have Jeff Chudy in studio to talk about what was a wild game. A 50-47 win over Moore Park. So we'll have that in segments 2 and 3. Also in segment 4, stick around for this. As Major League pitcher Colby Lewis, BC Renegade, Colby Lewis will be in studio as well as we will talk some baseball with Colby. Now, let's talk about what's been going on around campus and start with some BC volleyball as they were at home against Canyons last night. Let's take you out there and show you some of the action as Carl Ferreira talking to his team. Now, quite frankly, Canyons took it to them in games 1 and 2. Game 3, they were trailing. They did come back strong right here. Tyler Herring with a blast right there for a kill for the Lady Gades. Courtney Grants led the way with 9 kills, coming up big right here. And despite the fact that they were down the entire third game, they were hustling. Stephanie Lugo with a nice save right there, and Lorena Ramirez is going to bring it up back on top as the Lady Renegades get the point, but they do lose this match in 3 by a final of 25-12, 25-12, and 25-20. So again, Lady Gades falling 3-0 to Canyons, but tomorrow they're back at it again. They will be on the road at Glendale. Cross country also will be hitting the road. They have their Western States Conference meet that is coming up tomorrow in Ventura. Wrestling, it is the Meathead Movers tournament. That is in Cuesta. It is Saturday for the banged up wrestling team, which is just trying to stay healthy, but they will be down there, or I should say over there in Cuesta, nice place to be. So our team's at least going to, they're going to Ventura, they're going to Cuesta. That is really good stuff there. Women's golf conference finals coming up on Monday for the Lady Renegades there. Women's soccer, they're trying to get out of a slide. We were there Tuesday to check out some of the action there. They lose 3-0 to LA Valley. A couple goals in the first half, and then a second goal, obviously, in the second half as LA Valley wins by a final of 3-0. By the way, next week, our show, we're going to have a blowout of BC basketball coming up. We will have both head coaches, Paula Dahl and Rich Hughes, here in studio as BC basketball gets underway. In fact, the ladies start next Saturday. It's November 1st. The Lady Gades will be at home against Santa Barbara. The men, meanwhile, won't start until November 13th. They're there from the 13th to the 15th. They will be at Fullerton. Now, BC football, and we'll be getting there in a moment, but they have a big week coming up, of course. Homecoming this week. We're hoping to have the Director of Student Life, Nikki Demanya, in here, but if not, we can still tell you homecoming this week. It is a 4 o'clock game. Remember, a lot of the games early in the season are 6 o'clock. This is 4 o'clock. The homecoming parade is before the game. Also, they're giving away a bunch of free stuff at the game. There will be a bounce house there. There's all sorts of good things going on out at the Memorial Stadium on Saturday, so try and get out there. You know the tailgating goes on. So you got the parade, the tailgating, bounce houses for the kids, everything going on. Get out there. All of it's free, by the way, except, of course, getting into the game. So the BC Renegades, again, 4 o'clock against Cerritos, and they are riding a 2-game win streak, which is good news there as the Renegades. Here's what they've done so far. Jeff Chudy has said as much, and he'll say as much when he gets here, is that they've put together a great defensive game. That was against Citrus when they won 17-14, and they put together a great offensive game when they beat Moore Park 50-47. And again, both those games on the road to even amplify that this team is really turning the corner. What they want to do, and any coach would tell you, is they'd like to have both sides of the ball perform that way in one game and see what kind of result they could get then, because certainly it would be pretty magnificent, I'm sure, as the Renegades sitting at 3-4, but after a 1-4 start, certainly seem to have turned things around. So we're going to talk BC football with Jeff Chudy in the next segment. We'll also, again, have Colby Lewis in, and think about Colby Lewis now, 9 years in the major leagues, 7 with the Texas Rangers. And while his win-loss record is around the 500 mark for his major league career, some guys are just postseason pitchers, and Colby Lewis is one of them. He is 4-1 in the postseason for the Texas Rangers, taking down the Yankees twice, no less, and winning a World Series game as well, the only one that the Texas Rangers won in the series. So again, Colby Lewis will be in. He'll talk about his time here at Bakersfield College under head coach Tim Payton, and of course his time in the major leagues. Maybe get to ask him some questions that for some of us who would love to be a Major League Baseball player, what it's like to play not only in the majors but in the postseason as well. So coming up next, we're going to have Jeff Chudy. I'm looking around to see if he's around, but even if he isn't, we'll talk some football with Jeff Chudy, and we'll break down the big win over Moore Park by a final of 50-47. We'll have that and much more in a moment. We'll be right back.